Welcome if you're new, or welcome back to our tour around the world. We are on Royal Caribbean's ultimate world cruise. We are literally circumnavigating the globe over 9 months. Today we're between the Mediterranean and Provence, Alpes, Côte d'Azur. Lies a little local charm of Toulon, France. With our amazing stop at Villefranche-sur-Mer yesterday, Toulon has big shoes to fill, and it's Sunday, it's early, we arrive and it's very sleepy, so I'm not sure that Toulon's going to be able to match that of yesterday, but let's go see what we can find. Toulon is home to one of the most beautiful natural harbors in Europe, surrounded by rugged hills and the shimmering Mediterranean. Although Marseille and Saint-Tropez are nearby, we've decided that if we arrive into a port we've never been to before, that we're going to stick with that port and do that exploration first before we venture out, unless of course we know there's just nothing in that port to see. To get into town, we take a 20-minute shuttle boat provided by Royal Caribbean, which is always a scenic way to start our day. One thing we've loved about, and that surprised us, about the cruise ship and seeing the world is we really had no idea when we got into port how most of the ports would be navigated, to the extent that if the port wasn't right there to get off the ship and just walk to, would we have to take a cab? Would we have to get an excursion for a shuttle? Would we figure out how to get our way into town? So I had done a lot of research before we left of where we would port and where the town was and what the best way to navigate into the city centers. But one thing that surprised us is in almost probably 90% of the ports, Royal Caribbean either had shuttle services, the cities we were visiting provided shuttle services, or and for free, or Royal would notify us in advance that the city center was this far away and that there were shuttle buses, but that they would be at a cost. But all we had to do was go down to the bus and we would sign a little sheet and it would bill us on the cruise ship. And out of 170 plus ports, we probably had maybe 10 that we had to pay for. So that was a huge surprise, and we were so grateful for that, because obviously using something the ship provides, we just knew where it dropped us off, we knew where to pick it up, we knew we would never miss getting back on board on time, we didn't have to negotiate a cab, the whole thing. Otherwise we just walked, and a lot of the ports we walked, but some of them you obviously just couldn't walk to. So here, where the ship docked, although we weren't tendered, we still had a distance to get into Toulon, and it was by what was basically a ferry. So Royal Caribbean provided the ferry service, so we just had to jump on, and it was about a 20-minute ferry ride to get into the city. I had to stop and get a picture of this banditas sign, because one of our very favorite local third world cantinas in Mexico, because if you know me, you know that I live in Arizona. We're right across the border from Puerto Penasco in Mexico, and we go back and forth. We've been there hundreds of times. And one of the bars in Penasco is called Banditos, and so they have very similar signs, and it just was kind of a full circle moment to remind me of home. We've been gone for 220 days almost. Who knew Toulon would give me a little taste of home halfway around the world? Like I said, we're in Toulon on Sunday, and when our shuttle boat drops us off in the old town, it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. Toulon's just waking up, and it's so quiet and peaceful. There's something so special about these slower starts in smaller towns. Toulon is relaxed vibe, colorful streets. It's like a perfect spot to soak it all in. Toulon city center has so much incredible architecture. The wide boulevards and symmetrical buildings reflect the Haussmannian style. Think 19th century Paris with its ornate facade and grand designs. Strolling these streets felt like stepping into a quieter, more laid-back version of Paris. But Toulon isn't just beautiful, it's steeped in history. This town played a pivotal role in the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte. During the siege of Toulon in 1793, a young Napoleon led a successful attack on the British and Royalist forces, catapulting him into the national prominence. As you've seen in my prior videos, we have been fascinated by Napoleon and just how many places he had a very integral part in. And I don't know, you know how you have like red car syndrome when you buy a red car, then all you see is red cars. So I don't know if once we latched on to Napoleon, if now we see him and his stretch everywhere. But again, here in Toulon, it was kind of his kicking off moment of this siege in Toulon and his young impact on the world. We've connected so many dots between history and the places we've visited through Napoleon. Look at how much fun this square looks like it would be when it's open. It's lined with restaurants and bars and just has this open area. It just looked really cool. We stumbled upon the Cours Lafayette Market, Toulon's most famous daily market. It felt endless, buzzing with vibrant stalls of produce, seafood, cheese, local lavender products. Remember, this is the gateway for Provence. So if you're in Toulon or in this area, you want to be sure to get lavender. That is their thing. Lavender, everything. Wines, olives, baguettes, all the delicious staples of everything the locals here live on and enjoy. So it's funny, we're in this market and we think, oh, we'll buy some items to take back on board to share with our World Cruise friends. So many times in the ports at dinner, if there's some local delicacy, one or several of us bring different things for us to all try. So we've tried and drank a whole bunch of things all over the world, which is super cool. Today in Toulon, we all had the same idea. So we don't realize it because we're all on our own adventures today. But we come back with our items. We bought some cheese and some wine and some bread back on board to share with everyone, and come to find out everyone bought something from this market. There wasn't a lot open in Toulon, and so short of just kind of wandering around and seeing the sights, the market, honestly, the market was enough. If all we did was start at the top of the market and spend our day working through this market, eating and drinking, it would have been a beautiful day. We hit it towards the end, and so we just grabbed our stuff so we could share it on board. Toulon is really the gateway to Provence. So a lavender field, a winery, something like that probably would have been a better choice today. But we get back on board and we decide we're gonna have a sail away happy hour. So everybody meets in Jean's room, and what does everyone have? All this stuff from the market. So we had this huge spread. Needless to say, none of us went to the main dining room, which is a good segue for a lot of questions about the food on board the Serenade for 9 months and what we did as far as dining is concerned. So I want to quick touch on that. One of the people at our table actually connected all of us. There are 5 couples, and we decided when we got on board that we would all have the same dining time. Obviously, some nights, some people didn't come. We had special, dining arrangements, but for the most part, we all only ate it at this table, just the 5 couples. And at first I thought that's gonna be weird, but I was so grateful for it. They're family now, and we just got so close to all of these people, and it was fun because we were a lot of times on different adventures for the day. So at dinner, we could share what we did that day and what they did and share the food we bought. And it was just fun to come together like that. And as far as the food is concerned on board, if you think about your normal food in your normal life, you are not rotating through 9 months of food. You typically have kind of a menu. On board the Serenade, they had a 30-day menu. Basically, it rotated every month, but there were enough things that we could mix and match. And they always did a special for the night, and it usually was something very regionally specific so that we could eat something traditional to the port we were in. They had local wines, local beers, and so for me, the food did not get boring at all. Towards the end, I was kind of missing, just the American food, the normal stuff we eat at home. But overall, the food was exceptional. The dining room was exceptional. Our company was exceptional. The wait staff, just the entire experience, the main dining room. The head waiter took such great care of us. He was bringing us his own personal spices. A lot of people at our table liked spicy food, and so he was bringing different spice combinations just for us. They celebrated my birthday. I celebrated my birthday on board in March. Actually, I think we all did. There might have been one person that didn't. But in 9 months, I think almost all of us celebrated our birthdays on board. But mine specifically is in March. And my birthday is just huge for me. And so I celebrate all month. And the incredible staff on the Serenade literally brought me a birthday cake every single day for 30 days. It was incredible and amazing and awesome. And so, yeah, total segue from Toulon, but a question that's come up a lot. So back to our happy hour on board. We have a beautiful sail away. We're in the French Riviera. We're all together. We're on Jean's aft extended balcony that fits all 10 of us on the balcony. And we're all sharing our wine and our French baguettes and our French cheeses and desserts and croissants. And it was the perfect way to end just a sweet, simple day in Toulon. Toulon is perfectly described as an old town with a peaceful local vibe, a place to wander its hidden squares, quaint cafes, colorful streets at a relaxed pace. For us, it was the ideal stop to recharge before our big overnight in Barcelona. So we have huge plans in Barcelona that I'm super excited about. I've been to Barcelona before, but I think you could go to Barcelona 1,000 times and not see the same things twice. It is just a sensory overload, and I'll leave it at that. You just have to tune into the Barcelona video. But before we get to Barcelona, we have one more stop in Spain, our first stop in Spain, in Palma de Mallorca. And breathtaking, magnificent, spectacular, breathtaking, like I don't know, every adjective you can imagine is our sail in and our first stop in Palma de Mallorca. So you do not want to miss that video. So that's a good segue to don't forget to subscribe. And be sure to leave your comments about Toulon. Have you been to Toulon? Did you even see the city, or did you go out to Marseille or Saint-Tropez or somewhere else? I would love to hear your comments and your thoughts. And thank you for supporting me and this journey. I love having you along, and I cannot wait to start our journey into Spain, share Barcelona with you, and then you are going to lose your bananas when you see what we do when we circle back to France. So stay tuned. Thank you. Until then, au revoir, and I'll see you in Palma de Mallorca. And we are going, and if you remember from my last video in Villefranche-sur-Mer, Spain played Germany on board that night. And remember where Spain and